Hi everybody, and welcome to the 11th Glass Live. I'm pleased to welcome today Robert Patterson, Vice President of Social Media at MMGY Global. Be sure to ask your questions to the Explorer during the live with the hashtag GlassLive on Twitter or Google+. Hello Robert.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank
May
you for having me.
you...
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. May you introduce yourself for a start?
Sure. Well, thank you very much for the introduction. My name again is Robert Patterson at Robert Patterson on Twitter, and I am the Vice President of Social Media and Influencer Marketing here at MMGY Global. We're the world's largest integrated travel marketing agency. So we are not the typical advertising agency. We work exclusively with travel and hospitality companies. And I've been testing Google Glass for about almost two months.
And how did you get them, Glass?
I entered the if I had glass campaign, basically saying that if I'd use them, I'd use it to document all of my travels. I travel quite extensively, obviously, because of the job I'm in. So it's been a real treat to be able to utilize them across all my travels.
All right. So quickly, what is your point of view on glass and wearable computing in general? Do you think it's the future of technology?
You know, the more I use it, the more I love it. It really has become just another tool in the technology tool belt that I use on a day-to-day basis. So I definitely think that there's going to be early adopters, and it's going to take a little while for consumer adoption. But as people become more and more comfortable with the fact of wearing technology, I do think it's going to be a huge growth area for computing, and it's getting technology getting out of the way of what you want it to do, which I think is always a win for users, and being able to be hands-free and utilize computing has been really amazing.
And do you think it will have the same impact as the smartphone had?
You know, I think the smartphone is something that everyone will eventually adopt. I mean, the adoption rate is still really high, but not everybody still has a smartphone. I'm not sure that it's going to get there. I think that there is certainly a hurdle in terms of the aesthetic look of people wearing a computer. But I think it's going to make a large impact once it's more adopted. And again, Google Glass, this is the first generation of what this technology looks like. And if you thought about the first generation of what a mobile phone was and how big and clunky it was, as soon as they can miniaturize this technology, make it a little bit more stylish or a little bit more customized to people's looks, I think that it does have a bright future.
All right. During the If I Had Glass program, you said you would document your travels so all the world could see. Did you already start using glass to travel?
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey to go get glass, I actually picked up glass in San Francisco, and they had a special event at the Embarcadero, which was I brought along a videographer friend of mine, and we documented my whole journey to get glass, and I have a YouTube video up on our MMGY Global YouTube that you can check out, showcasing our experience going to pick up glass and speaking with Google Glass guides and Google Glass explorers, as well as consumers on the street. So we went and kind of interviewed people at Pier 39 and Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco to ask them about mobile computing and wearable technologies and where they saw it. Immediately, I started, utilizing the technology. So from that travel experience, I've been through quite a few cities. I've spent a week in Seattle, and I documented the entire experience through Glass. And I've visited Denver a number of times, as well as the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel in Florida. And every time I've gone somewhere, Glass has been really an amazing technology and tool to capture photos, videos. But beyond that, that's really it's the GPS navigation I really like, and the Google Now awareness of where I am. Glass was made for travel, no doubt.
And talking about traveling, many people that we interviewed so far told us that there was many reactions to people by people when they see glass for the first time, or they see glass and they know it, or etc. Would you say in the different cities you visited, um, there are different reactions from people who see you with glass?
I think that overall, the reactions that I've received from people have been overwhelmingly positive. Very few times I've never been asked to remove Google Glass from wherever I've gone. Most people are really intrigued as to what is this technology, what does it mean. I think people are really excited about the future of computing and technology. So it's never been a real problem for me anywhere I've traveled. I would say that San Francisco and Seattle. I actually was surprised that there were less people coming up to me to talk to me about it. When I've traveled to Denver on two different separate occasions, I've had people chasing me down the street to want to talk to me about it or get to try it on. And I think that's part of the excitement of the Get Glass Explorer program is educating people about what this technology is, letting them try it out, answering any of their questions. But overwhelmingly, been very positive. I mean, there was certainly a little bit of a learning curve in terms of, or comfortable, becoming comfortable with wearing, and now I don't even care that people, maybe look at me or stare at me, and I hear there's a Google Glass. It's fine. But it did take a little bit for me to get comfortable with that, as I'm sure most explorers. But overwhelmingly, everyone's been really positive about it, and I've had flight attendants that asked me to try it on, and TSA people going through airports have been really cool about it and wanting to learn more about it. I think people are just overwhelmingly interested in what is it and what does it mean, and then the next question is always, when can I get my hands on it?
And don't you think that these reactions in San Francisco, for example, um, are made by the fact that there are more explorers in San Francisco than in Denver, for example?
Yeah, it's interesting because definitely thought, okay, there's a lot of people in San Francisco that had glass, but when we talked to a lot of people didn't know what it was. Maybe that's because we went to more touristy locations when we were interviewing people. And I sat down, I spoke with a gentleman from the San Francisco Travel organization that promotes all the tourism in San Francisco, and they were really excited about it being being ground zero for this technology and knowing that they could use it for travel and tourism marketing. And there was a lot of, you see a lot of people utilizing different technologies in San Francisco. So I don't think it's as earth-shattering as some other places, but I think everywhere I've gone, people definitely are inquisitive about what it means and what it is. Just definitely the concentration of explorers on the West Coast and the East Coast is very concentrated. I'm here in Kansas City, Missouri, and I've met all the glass explorers that are here. We have about 9 people in the city here that are exploring. So very small number of compared to a lot of other cities.
And you're working in the social media domain, if I understood.
Yes, that's my.
Okay. And how do you think glass will affect this domain in particular?
It's been amazing. I love using glass tied to social media. So obviously, the hands-free aspect of collecting photos and videos, and then being able to share them instantaneously has been incredible. I think there's definitely a lot of areas that this can improve on. For instance, right now with sharing to Twitter, you could share a photo and it'll have a canned little response that says, just shared a photo through hashtag through glass, but you're not able to customize the caption, and you're only able to create reply to people that have tweeted you versus creating your own tweet. So I think some of the glassware has is certainly early, and it needs to evolve, but I think the potential for the social media sharing aspect is incredible. And I've been using it for Google Plus and for Facebook as well. And no, I think that they go hand in hand.
And did you see a different impact from the photos you take with glass and the photos you take with your smartphone, for example?
I think the quality is really good, first off, of the photos and videos captured. A lot of people have commented to me that are in my social media following that they're pretty amazed at how good the quality is. From the photos, I don't think that there's that much. I'm not seeing more people retweet my photos or that kind of thing. I would say though, when I've created video, so I was in Seattle and I took video of boat rides I was on and different. I took a 14-minute tour of the Space Needle that I recorded through Glass and shared that, as well as going through some of the attractions and using video. That's where I see a lot more people, reacting to the video that I've created there versus video I've created with my mobile phone. And I do think that that's always been kind of, video has been baked into mobile phones for years now, but a lot of people aren't utilizing video as much as they could be. They use the photo features of phones. Google Glass, I think, is going to bring video more to the forefront because it is just so easy to record it. It has your perspective, and it's whatever you're looking at is being recorded. And hopefully things like Instagram and Vine are starting to push more people to utilize video, which I think is a great medium for communicating. And I think Glass, that's where everyone we talk to has said photos and video. It's like, well, there's lots of things that can collect photos and videos, but it is a different perspective, and I think that's why people are excited about those features.
We saw a few minutes ago that the XE8 upgrade was released. Did you already get it?
Oh, let me see if I got it. I had my Glass plugged in earlier. No, I'm still on 7, so I'll have to plug in and get to Wi-Fi as soon as I can. I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing what the features are going to be. There's been a lot of speculation about what they're going to bring, and monthly updates are great. It shows how committed Google is.
Because according to a tweet that Google Glass survey sent, I guess, there will be a YouTube app available in the XE8 upgrade. There will be many things that will be what we're excited about.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing. I've heard that rumor about the YouTube or instant upload to your YouTube account, and that's great because there is this disconnect with when sharing video on Google Plus and not being able to pull that automatically into your YouTube. So it'd be cool to be able to share that in multiple places. I'm really hoping to hear more about ways to enhance the audio and the bone conduction and change the volume on that, as well as I'm hoping that in the future we'll see a little bit more in terms of how to manage the content that you're creating in your timeline and ways to make sure that you're managing your storage properly, because I know I'm not the only Google Glass Explorer that kind of burns through their memory and has either had to go through the timeline and manually delete all of the content or had to do a factory restore. So I'm hoping that Google will address that shortly. I'm looking forward to seeing what the feature set is after this chat.
And in fact, we're reading right now that the XE8 upgrades includes a mastering volume tool.
I'm a happy man now. That's great.
There are a lot of more interesting use in this upgrade, but I think we'll talk about that later when we know more.
Absolutely.
So, since you have Glass, would you say that it fulfilled the dreams or the expectations you had about it?
I was aware what Glass was, and I've been following the Project X team and see what they were doing, and so I was pretty familiar with what the capabilities were going to be. Getting hands-on with it definitely is different, and it's one of my favorite things is to let people try on Glass and see once the prism lights up, that first reaction they have is like this oh wow moment, and I think that's really magical when you can have everybody that's tried it has had that shared experience where it's like, wow, that's so different and crazy. So it's totally lived up to my expectations, and I know that Google's got a lot more in store for it. So I'm really, again, just excited to see where this goes. I think there's a lot of potential that has not even been tapped into yet. So it's still beta. So there's a lot of room for growth before it becomes a consumer product.
Many people thought that Glass was an augmented reality device. In fact, and we see it's not. In fact, do you think that it would have been better if it had been an actual augmented reality device?
I think that Google was pretty clear. They definitely separated that it's not an augmented reality device. I think that would have scared people away from adopting it, to be honest with you. I think the term augmented reality, I think, is scared to a lot of just casual computer users or people that are not super techy. So I think that they wanted to steer clear of that as much as possible. Now, I do think that there is certainly very close ties to what this technology is and what Google Goggles has to offer. Google has blocked so far facial recognition and that kind of thing, but they have all of the elements that would make a wonderful augmented reality device. I think that they're going to leave it up more to developers to develop around that. I mean, if you're standing in front of the Eiffel Tower and you have it in your camera view, there's no reason why it can't not identify what that object is and provide you with more information about that, the same way as holding up your mobile phone using Google Goggles is. So I still think that we're going to see more augmented reality type applications being built out, but it's still unclear as to if Google's going to be leading that charge or if they're going to leave it to developers to do that.
Finally, what is the next step for you with Glass now?
The next step for me, we're actually, I work at a marketing agency, so we're looking at ways that we can utilize Glass in the travel space. And we just recently announced with one of our clients that we're going to be launching what we're calling the Find Your Island Challenge on behalf of one of our clients, which is the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel in Florida. And we're currently in the process of inviting 5 Google Glass Explorers to come down to the destination. And they're going to participate in this Find Your Island challenges. So we have some really exciting, fun activities for these explorers to use the technology while they're in the destination. So we have all kinds of different things. I don't want to give too much away, but it'll be basically these explorers utilizing the technology in a travel setting to capture and share the experience. So we're really excited about that, and that's going to be something that's going to launch in September.
Okay. How do you think Glass will enter the full market? I mean, many explorers we interviewed told us that it would be a progressive release, like in the professional use first, and then in the commercial use. Do you share this opinion?
I think it's already been that, right? So they reached out to the developers first, and then they reached out to people that were a little bit more maybe forward-thinking or early adopters or social media influencers to kind of utilize it. And it was really smart the way they released this launch, because they're really going to the people that would be the most passionate about something like this and getting their feedback, getting them to share the experience with others. I would see that they're starting to, I guess, slowly ask explorers if they would like to invite somebody else into the program. So I've seen some posts around people doing that. I think that they kind of stated that they want to continue to grow the Explorer program a little bit more, but I think that the next step, would be definitely a commercial release. There's definitely people that want to get their hands on it, but don't have the opportunity. So I think that they're going to need to ride out the buzz that's around the product and people's desire to get their hands on it before too many other competitors enter the space.
Do you think that Glass will release sooner? So because we might think that there will be like other Glass Explorers program. Maybe it won't be the same name, but kind of thing like that. Don't you think so?
I don't. It's funny because there's been kind of back and forth about, even from within Google about when Glass was going to become commercially available. The first thing we heard was, I believe, from an interview on The Verge, we were hearing that it was going to be the end of the year, and then we're hearing from Eric Schmidt that it's going to be more like a year from now, and then Google Glass updated their frequently asked questions, and it kind of leaned more towards that it's going to be next year at some point in time. I think it would be, I'm hoping that we see it in the marketplace by Q2 next year, if not earlier.
Okay, so you have a good opinion on that. You're optimistic about the release date of Glass. Obviously, glass is a bit scary, we could say, because of a lack of privacy or what it looks like. What is your opinion on that?
So, that's one of the questions, I get all the time is, are you recording this, or that kind of thing. And it's, the privacy thing to me is really, I think it's more about people being scared of change and something that's new versus the privacy. Everywhere you go, there's a video camera on you in society today, whether it's, your corner restaurant, your bank, wherever you go shopping. Everybody has mobile phones with photo and video capabilities, and you go anywhere, you see people holding up their phones and recording. I think it's just a little. I think more people are apprehensive about the change of the technology, and it's clear when you're recording, you see the little light there. It's you can tell when somebody's recording the content. The example that I'll use is when I was in Seattle with my wife. We both saw this really cool customized car that somebody had painted, and it was all crazy looking. And we went to go take a photo of it, and she pulls out her smartphone, and she's taking a photo of it the same time that I'm giving Google Glass a command to take a photo of it. And this is one of the only negative times I had somebody react. Somebody that was standing next to the car was like, "Oh no, Cyborg, don't take photos of me." It was really funny to me because my wife was doing the same exact activity as I was, but with something that was more familiar, being the smartphone. So, I think the whole privacy concerns, I think privacy in our society is a fallacy to begin with. We see all these, all the news that's been out there about, how we're being tracked across, by governments, by corporations. To me, this is a great equalizer. Wherever you go, you can be recording or documenting experience, whether it's good or bad. So it really allows. It's more of a level playing ground, in my opinion. So I don't think people should be scared about privacy. I think they should feel empowered by what Google Glass can do for them.
And what would you say are two main misconceptions about glass?
That I'm recording all of the time. There is that's the number one. And the other misconception, I guess, would be just about what the functionality is and what Google Glass can do. People are still don't really fully know what it's capable of or what you're utilizing it for. So that's part of the Explore program is explaining to individuals what it's all about and what it means, and that's fine. I actually really enjoy doing that. It's a great conversation starter for sure. I mean, people are going to walk up to you. If you do not want strangers to come up to you and ask you questions, then you should probably not opt into the Explorer program. But I love meeting and talking with new people, and it's been really a fun way to get to know people.
So you think that Glass is a good way to network with people?
Well, I mean, now that it's because it's so new and it's so exclusive, and nobody, there's not a lot of people that have their hands on it. There certainly is this kind of, oh, I want to go up and talk to you about what it is, or can I try it on, that kind of thing. Once it becomes commercially available, I think a lot of that stuff, a lot of that's going to go away because it's going to be, less exclusive and people will be able to access it. But right now, definitely if I walk into a bar or restaurant, there's certainly going to be somebody that wants to talk to me about glass.
All right, so we're near to the end of this first interview. What advice would you give to glass lovers like us who can't have glass yet so they can get one?
I would say make friends with as many Google Glass Explorers as you can, because hopefully they'll be allowing Google will be allowing those individuals to invite other people.
All right. And here goes the last question. In one word, what does Google Glass mean for you?
I would say freedom.
Okay.
Because it allows me I got to go more than one word though, but it allows me to be hands-free and really do whatever I want to do without having to have my head buried into a cell phone.
You're the first to answer that. I guess we got one answer which came two times, and yeah, you all got different answers on this question, and that's the one I prefer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you very much, Robert Patterson, for having been with us. See you soon for other GlassStory interviews. Don't forget to subscribe, to check out our Twitter, our Facebook, and our Google+, and the site glassstories.com.